Welcome to another deep dive. You know how this works? We take something, we dive deep. Today, it's Forget Me Not by Melissa Morgan.
Forget Me Not.
Yeah, it's think love story
Okay.
with a little sci-fi twist.
I like it already.
Right. So we're going to kind of untangle the plot, figure out these characters, and hopefully by the end you're going to be like, okay, I got to read this.
Sounds like a plan.
So the book takes place in Primrose Hill.
Primrose Hill, yeah. London.
London. Yeah, I've never been. But
Beautiful area.
I know. I've seen pictures. It looks beautiful. All the street lights and the views.
Yeah, it's like, picture this, right? You're walking along those cobblestone streets, Victorian street lights, that kind of warm glow, and then, bam, you get this panoramic view of the city.
That sounds amazing.
It really sets the mood, for a story that's all about love and how it can, transcend time and space.
Oh, I like that.
Mm.
Okay, so we've got Primrose Hill, and that's where we meet our main characters, Lizzie and Charles.
Lizzie and Charles, former lovers, reunited after, 13 years.
Oh, 13 years. That's a long time. So what happened? Fill me in.
Okay, so they were high school sweethearts, head over heels, but then, boom, painful breakup. Charles becomes this big-time actor.
The classic Hollywood story, right?
Kinda, yeah. But there's a twist. Lizzie has this thing called the band list.
The band list. What's that all about?
It's her way of, protecting herself,
Yeah.
avoiding anyone from her past that might bring back, bad memories.
Okay, I can relate to that. So Charles is on this list.
Oh, yeah, he's right at the top.
Wow. So there's some serious baggage there.
Mm.
But it's not just about Lizzie and Charles, right? There's also Matt.
Ah, Matt. Lizzie's brother, and Charles's former best friend.
Ooh, that's got to be awkward.
Talk about a recipe for tension. Matt does not like Charles, at all.
I bet. Why is that?
He blames Charles for Lizzie's heartbreak for, abandoning her after the breakup.
Oh, that's rough. So there's this whole love triangle going on.
Not exactly a triangle, more like a tangled web of relationships and emotions.
Okay, got it. And then there's the big twist, reincarnation.
You got it. Reliving lives. Characters remember fragments of their past existences. It's like, what if we've lived this all before?
Ooh, that's a head trip. So give me an example. How does this reincarnation thing play out?
Okay, so Charles's niece, Amy, she has these vivid dreams of a car crash, but it never happened to her in this life. But here's the thing. Those dreams resonate deeply with Daniel, Charles's brother. It's like he remembers it.
Okay, so they're both having these, flashes of past lives.
Exactly. It makes you wonder, right, what's the connection? Are these memories warnings, premonitions, or just, echoes of something else entirely?
That's so creepy and cool at the same time. So we've got love, loss, reincarnation. Sounds like a lot to unpack.
Oh, there's more. Morgan weaves in these recurring motifs, these little details that connect everything together, like peanut butter.
Peanut butter. How does peanut butter fit into all of this?
It's subtle, but powerful. Smooth for Lizzie, crunchy for Charles. It becomes a symbol of their shared history, like a connection that transcends time.
Okay, that makes sense. I like that. It's those small details that can really make a story come alive.
Exactly. And then there's this big looming theme, love and loss. It's not just about the breakup,
I was going to ask about that. What else is there?
Lizzie and Charles carry this huge weight from a past life. They lost a child, a son named Leo.
Oh, wow. That's heartbreaking. So that loss is, still affecting them in their current lives.
Absolutely. It adds this layer of melancholy, this underlying sadness that permeates their relationship. And it makes you think about, how grief can shape our choices even across lifetimes.
That's deep. And then we have the family drama.
Oh, yeah. There's plenty of that. Lizzie's relationship with her dad, Craig, is pretty messed up. He's judgmental, disapproving, and as the story unfolds, we find out he's been keeping a massive secret.
A secret? Do tell.
He knew about Leo's death, but never told Charles.
Wow. Talk about a betrayal. Why would he do that?
That's the question, isn't it? Is he trying to protect Lizzie? Or is it more about his own guilt, his own regrets?
That's a good question. And then everything comes to a head, right? There's this huge confrontation.
Yeah, it's a big one. Matt finally lets loose on Charles. All that anger, all the pain he's been holding on to just explodes.
So he tells Charles about Leo.
Everything. He tells Charles about Leo, about the pain Lizzie has carried all these years. It's raw, it's emotional, it's the moment where everything changes.
So how does Charles react? I mean, to find out about a son he never knew.
It's devastating, obviously. But what's so compelling is that Charles doesn't lash out. He doesn't blame anyone. He's just overwhelmed with grief and regret.
And what about Lizzie?
For her, Seeing Charles's pain is unbearable. It's like confirmation that she made the wrong choices, that she messed everything up. So she does what she always does, runs.
Oh, no. So that's where we leave him.
For now. But the story is far from over. There are more layers to uncover, more secrets to reveal. And the question remains, can Lizzie and Charles overcome the weight of the past? Can they find their way back to each other? It's like she keeps making things worse, right?
Totally. She's convinced that staying with her would have, ruined Charles' career.
She thought their love was holding him back.
But we know he genuinely loved her, so is she really helping?
That's what makes her interesting, right? She's driven by love, but also guilt and fear.
She even lies to Matt about their relationship, tries to make it sound less intense.
So is it really self-sacrifice if it's based on a lie?
I guess not. But remember that scene with Neil, Charles's agent?
Oh, yeah. The one where Lizzie has to explain why Charles is on the banned list.
He's such a troublemaker.
Yeah.
He jokes that they had this passionate fling.
Seemed like a harmless joke.
But it wasn't. It forced Charles to realize how Lizzie really felt.
Classic case of unintended consequences.
And then boom, the bombshell. Matt tells Charles everything.
It all comes pouring out. The truth about Leo, about Lizzie's pain.
So Charles finds out he had a son he never knew.
A son he never knew he lost. It's crushing.
But he doesn't get mad.
No, he's heartbroken. For Lizzie, for Leo, for everything.
He still cares about her after all these years. It's kind of sweet.
It is. But for Lizzie, seeing his pain is too much. She freaks out and runs.
So she runs away from her problems. Typical.
But that's how she starts to learn about herself, confront her fears, figure out what she really wants.
Okay. So we're left with Lizzie on the run and Charles reeling.
Yeah. Will they find their way back to each other? Can they overcome all this baggage? She's a mess, right?
Yeah.
Totally convinced she messed everything up.
He's like, girl, give yourself a break. But then Lottie shows up,
Yeah.
Charles's sister,
Lottie.
and she drops this bomb that changes everything.
Oh.
Lottie remembers their past lives too.
Wait, what?
Yeah. And she's got a different story.
Different how?
Lottie says Lizzie and Charles, they were happily married, still lost Leo, but they were together.
Wow. So Lizzie's whole reason for pushing Charles away.
Gone. Just like that.
That's got to be, earth-shattering for her.
Totally. But it gets even crazier. Lottie also remembers an abusive relationship from another life.
Really?
Yeah. It explains why she's so protective of Lizzie.
So are we saying that past lives can, affect us now?
I think that's what Morgan's getting at. These echoes of the past, they shape who we are.
Interesting. But remember that paper with Leo's name and the footprints?
The one that showed up in Charles's trailer.
Yeah, it shows up again in Lizzie's childhood bedroom.
What?
No way. It's like, hello, someone's trying to tell them something.
Right. It's like fate or destiny or maybe Leo himself trying to bring them together.
And it works. Charles finds Lizzie. He's worried about her, finds her decorating for Christmas.
Which is always hard for her, right? After Leo.
Exactly. And they have this moment, just a moment, where they connect. It's sweet.
But it can't last, can it?
Nope. Matt shows up, sees them together.
Mm-hmm.
He loses it.
I mean, you can't blame him, right? He doesn't know about the past lives.
All he sees is Charles hurting his sister. Again.
And they fight.
Big time. But this time, Lizzie fights back. Tells Matt she loves Charles. That it's her choice. She finally stands up for herself. It's awesome.
Go, Lizzie, and then it's like the whole gang arrives. Lottie, Bex, Neil.
It turns into this crazy family therapy session.
Only with reincarnation thrown in.
It's classic Morgan. Totally out there, but also somehow relatable.
Totally. And then Matt and Charles. They have this shared vision.
The car crash. The one Amy keeps dreaming about.
It connects them to their past. And suddenly the anger, it's gone.
They understand each other. They forgive each other.
It's amazing. Trauma brings them together instead of tearing them apart.
And Lizzie and Charles?
They finally find their way back. They admit they love each other. They're going to try again.
Finally. It was a long road, but they made it.
So after all of that, what do you think?
It really makes you think, What would you do if you could relive your life? Would you make different choices? Would it change anything?
That's a question for all of us, I guess.
And I think that's the power of this book. It stays with you, makes you think about your own life, your own choices.
Absolutely. Well, that's our deep dive into Forget Me Not.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep diving deep.